different hats. You
Kirby
could
wears
probably
hats.
make a Kirby head with like
Kirby's
a Kirby hat
like
on
he doesn't really have a. He just white. It'd be just a white hat.
Very
Just got
okay.
shower cap done.
I don't think a
Big
Link
shower
hat
cap.
really needs to be done.
The Morgan's a jerk hat. I like that.
It's a Nuki hat like that.
Harley Quinn's jester hat. Yes.
Ooh.
Yes.
Oh,
Okay, Monty tweeted 5 minutes ago that he
Oh,
was
the
about to
bunny
call,
hood.
so
Okay.
this is
Minish cap.
this is positive.
Ooh, the Minish cap. That's a cool hat.
That would be a really good hat.
But like a
Hopefully
little
he's not
Nuki
calling
hat.
that
Flip
cell
left, have
phone.
the duct tape showing.
Exactly.
Roscoe hat.
Sunshine.
The brain slug from Futurama.
See you, Dostro. See you
A
very
creepy doll hat
soon.
would be cool.
Yeah.
Like just like a black hat. With like the
Seizure
white
chicken
inside.
hat.
Crow's bandhammer hat.
That would be weird.
It's such just like a
A
hammer
Sith
hat.
hat.
A what hat?
A cute fuzzy Sith hat. I don't know quite how that would work, but I kind of want to see a fuzzy Sith.
Someone's calling
Hello?
Chair.
That's not Monty. Hello?
Professor Layton's top hat.
How's it going?
Ooh.
That's just a top hat.
It
though,
is.
isn't it?
And it would be crocheted. Professor Layton's
Yeah.
special.
We are waiting for Monty Cook, who wrote co-wrote D&D 3rd edition. He's going to be calling in and answering your D&D related questions. Jarrett is very excited, so hopefully he'll be calling any moment. Tell us a story, Morgan.
What's a story that I could tell?
Oh, that might have been a mistake. I don't think you have any PG stories, do you?
No,
Not
There must-
really. You must have one.
Yeah.
Yeah,
One
if
would
you,
think.
as I say, we could still
We
use,
hung out
if you have
with
questions
way
for
more
Monty.
than-
Uh-oh.
Hmm?
It
Is
was
Team
fun. We
Pros
hung out
gaining
in the
ground?
PG
It is.
Yeah.
But is it
Oh,
story?
no.
It's not really
Make
story.
another
Yeah.
$150
We just went to a golf
today?
course and
Because like I came in at
sat.
Yeah.
around
It
on
was
the ground.
fun.
Yes, and I really appreciated it.
Yeah, there's a couple of 740
Oh,
locations, but
Iggy
none of them
DeCoop,
are on
everyone's gonna, if those of you who just came in, you're gonna find out what Morgan is sitting on, eventually.
Tell us
Just
a
can't
story
talk
about
about
a
it right
previous
now.
desert bus.
not ground.
I already told the story of Space Jump, which is probably the best of the Desert Bus stories. Oh, okay. Desert Bus 2. Probably the Space Jump was the overall the most lulls had within a single story arc. But the one moment, the funniest moment Desert Bus has ever produced was during Desert Bus 2.
Yes.
There was all the do a barrel roll going on, and at about 4 in the morning, there was a challenge issued to raise a certain amount of money, and Yamaro was going to do an IRL barrel roll.
Yeah.
Sure.
And we raised that amount of money, so he walked to one side of the room
Yeah.
and aimed himself at the couch.
No.
He
I
ran,
can call from.
leapt,
Just give me
did
the
a
number.
full barrel roll in the air, sailed gracefully right past the couch.
Oh God!
And with his hands behind him and his head forward, smashed into the wall and through it.
A hole in the wall.
Yes.
We then very rapidly put a Desert Bus poster over that and told nobody. And that poster was there when we moved out of the office.
Funny story, I told that story during my shift with slightly different inflection.
Yeah.
Still a good
So we're ready to call Monty here.
Alright,
So.
let's give him a call and...
Oh God, Desert Bus 2 is great.
There we go. A link to Yam's barrel roll. Let's bring that up. I would love to watch Yamaro's barrel roll
After the call.
after the call.
Hello?
Hi, is that Monty?
It is.
Monty, it's the internet calling.
Hi, Internet.
How's it going?
It's going okay.
Sweet. We are, yeah, we're in the middle of driving a big electric bus down a desert that doesn't really exist. And, yeah, we heard you might be interested in talking to us for a bit.
Sure. Anything to help break up the drive, right?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
I can understand that.
yeah, we've been talking about you a little bit, but did you want to let our viewers know who you are?
Sure. I'm Monty Cook. I've been a tabletop game designer for over 20 years now. I've worked on a lot of different games, but probably best known for the work that I did on the 3rd edition of Dungeons and Dragons. And now I'm back working with Dungeons and Dragons again and having a great time.
That's super awesome. Yeah, you have done like so many awesome dream jobs in the gaming industry over the years, and worked on so many cool things. Like I know you. There's a lot of big Planescape fans out there. You definitely did a lot of work for that. You were largely responsible for doing the Cthulhu D20 adaptation. And then,
that's right.
Yeah, we've got a bunch of fans in the room, and have had throughout DeSertBus of a lot of the Malhavic's press stuff as well.
Cool.
Yeah, a lot of good things said about Tallis in the room as well. So that's super awesome, and we're super pleased to have you call in. And you know basically what we're doing at this point?
I think I have a general idea.
Okay, because it's basically the same hour in and hour out. There's a big desert. It's long. We're driving in it. Morgan, do you have any way that you could describe what your experience has been over the last 14 hours or so?
The pinnacle of excitement. It has been riveting. I've been on the edge of my seat virtually nonstop.
Yeah.
The excitement is almost unbearable. Staying awake is a challenge.
We just got an achievement for
Right.
mini Bothan spies. I don't know what that
Killed
was for.
75 Bothan spies.
Sweet.
Woohoo!
So proud of ourselves.
So Monty, we've got some questions for you from our community. If you'd be interested in
Okay.
chatting for a bit, that would be super awesome.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, like at this point, there's some things. You are basically. Are you actually going back to work for Wizards now in an actual day job capacity, or are you just freelancing for them at this point?
At the moment, I am a contractor with them.
Mm-hmm.
I have kind of a, I guess you would, I mean, technically I'm a designer. You would almost, I guess, maybe call it kind of a consulting position at the moment.
Gotcha. And because I mean, there's people asking things like about possible Iron Heroes 2, but I mean that was a project that you worked on with Mike Merles, correct? And,
That's right.
Yeah.
Published that through Malhavic. We actually sold the rights to Iron Heroes, and there's another company based in Australia that owns Iron Heroes now. So if there's going to be Iron Heroes 2, it would come from them, not from me.
Gotcha. But they haven't really said anything about that yet, to your knowledge.
No, I'm way out of the loop. I'm 3 loops removed from that now, so I don't know.
Yeah, no worries. People asking for your thoughts on Pathfinder, especially as compared to 3rd edition and 3.5. So sort of the evolution of 3rd edition.
Right. Well, you know, the whole experience has been really interesting. I worked actually as sort of a consultant on Pathfinder as well, and you know, it's a very, there's a lot of things in Pathfinder that are a very natural evolution from 3.5 D&D. I mean, obviously, I shouldn't be saying that, right? Because it's not D&D, it's D20. But you know, let's just call it what it is.
Yeah.
And And so that's very interesting. It definitely is an evolutionary path that you can kind of follow from. Well, really, if you're an old school player, you remember back in second edition days there were these books called the player's option books.
Yeah.
And they were kind of, some people might, have called them like 2.5, if we had used a term like that back in the day. And you can kind of actually trace the whole evolutionary path from the player's option to third edition to 3.5 to Pathfinder in kind of an interesting way. There's sort of a growing level of both complexity and character options that kind of go, if you're going to draw a chart, if you're going to draw a graph, and kind of those two things kind of follow along in the development of all those games. So yeah, I kind of get off on game history and following those kind of things. I've been writing about that on the Wizards website in a column called Legends and Lore, kind of tracing the path of the game. And yeah, Pathfinder sort of represents an interesting sort of evolutionary offshoot.
Yeah.
I guess it's, you've got kind of a Neanderthal Krogneck and thing going on now with D&D, I guess.
Well, it's super cool, and yeah, you, as you were saying, you consulted on Pathfinder as well, right? Was that basically your role?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's right. Yep. Basically, my role, for the most part, in Pathfinder was, as Jason Bowman, who was the designer of Pathfinder, went through the rules, the D20 rules, he would call me up and he would say, "Why did you do this?" Or "What's the math behind this chart?" or whatever, and we would chat about it for a while. Or he would bounce ideas off of me, and I would tell him, well, we thought about doing it that way, but we didn't, and here's why, and that kind of thing.
So this is basically sort of reflecting on your time in designing the initial game. Can you paint sort of a picture for us of like when third edition was being worked on? What was your role in that? How did that work?
Sure. Well, in 1997, TSR was acquired by Wizards of the Coast, and it was the president of the company, Peter Rockinson, was a huge D&D fan, and so he immediately kind of tasked those of us who were working, because I worked at TSR and came to Wizards of the Coast when the fire happened, and he tasked us with the creation of a new edition. And so they gathered together a few of us and basically just gave us, carte blanche and said, what do you want to do? And it was one of those interesting situations where you're kind of given so much leeway that at first you don't really kind of realize it, and so we started kind of doing this very sort of mild edition change from second edition. And it was really initially Peter who said, no, let's really go all the way. Let's really make this the best game we can. And at that time, it was myself and Skip Williams and Rich Baker. And about that time, Jonathan Tweet joined the team, and I had a lot of really great and interesting ideas. And so it just grew from there. And the development process was just shy of 3 years long. And it was just kind of a day-to-day kind of thing where we, the designers would all gather in a room and say, okay, so today we're going to talk about, 5th level wizard spells. And that would be the topic for today. We met all day long and talk about D&D. So pretty good job to have. Pretty fun way to make money and spend your days. And then at the end, when it came time to actually write the books, the primary designers, Jonathan, Skip, and I, each kind of took one of the 3 core books and championed and sort of led the way. Although all three of us really worked on the whole system in all three books.